Hey sports card fans, it's John Boggs fan. It's been about 4 months since I did my last progress video on my 100 cards for $100,000. If you've been following my channel, you know that over the last 3 or 4 months, things have been really hectic on my end. Packing things up, moving into the new house, trying to work on the old house, getting ready for that to be listed and to sell. And so during that time, a lot of my hobby dollars were devoted to those various expenses. So I really didn't have an opportunity to save up some funds to go after a card on my list. Plus, I knew that the National was coming up in July, and one of my goals for the National was to see how many cards that I could get off that list. Was hoping to find a few. Well, needless to say, this year's National was just phenomenal. I ended up picking up 9 cards that I needed on my 100 cards for $100,000. So I thought I would do a sort of like a progress recap video of those 9 cards. The last video I did, I showed off card number 36. So now I'm going to be showing off cards number 37 through 45. I am almost at the halfway mark on this journey. It's taken me a little while to get to these 45. The ones that are remaining are going to be, as I mentioned before, harder and harder because they're getting to be more of the high dollar cards. But really pleased at the progress I made at the National picking up those 9 cards. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show off my 9 latest additions to my 100 cards for $100,000. Now, if you're watching this video for the first time and don't know what this concept is that I'm doing of 100 cards for $100,000, I will have a link to my original video that outlines everything at the end of this video, so definitely go check it out. All right, let's turn the camera around and check out those 9 most recent pickups on my list of 100 cards for $100,000. I'm going to start the list from the newest cards and end with the oldest card. So number 37 on my list is the 66 Hank Aaron. Picked this up in a really nice PSA 4. Again, that's been my go-to grade for a lot of 50s and even 60s cards. If you can find them really well centered, you can get them at a decent price versus obviously the higher grade examples and still have a nice looking card. And there is the back of that. So that's card number 37, the 66 Topps Hank Aaron. All right, card number 38. I'll put that off to the side there. Card number 38 is the 65 Topps Joe Morgan rookie card. This was one of those cards. I did a video some time ago about cards that I regret selling, and this was one of the cards that I had. I believe I had it in a PSA 6 and sold it some years ago. Always regretted it, and glad to have the Joe Morgan rookie card back in my collection. This is a PSA 5. Like the centering on it. And there is the back. So that was card number 38. Card number 39 is another Hank Aaron. This is the 64 Aaron. And again, another PSA 4. Don't mind the corner wear, but this one is fairly well centered. And I got, you could probably see in some of my National recap videos, I go over the price I paid and things like that for some of these. I did really good in getting some good deals for some of these cards, and this one was one of them. And there's the back. So the 64 Hank Aaron is card number 39 on my list. Card number 40. And this was a deal as well. I actually wasn't looking per se for this card. It was on my list, of course, but it really wasn't one that I was focusing on until I saw it. And despite the grade, I couldn't pass it up. The 61 Topps Juan Marichal rookie card. Now, it's in a 3.5, but it's solely because of the corner wear. You can see in the top left there, there's a pretty pronounced little ding or crease in it, but the card itself does not have any creases on the main image there of the card. Really happy I was able to pick this one up. Do not mind the fact at all that it is a 3.5, and I got a really good deal on it as well. There is the back. One of the things I love about vintage cards, some of the years they put different cartoons and different things about the players. Really like that aspect of it. Definitely, Topps was playing to the younger and kids wanting to buy baseball cards with a stick of gum, and they really played toward the kids back then, which was their main customer. So the 61 Topps Juan Marichal was card number 40. Card number 41, yet another Hank Aaron. I'm doing really good on my Hank Aaron run. Obviously, some of those earlier cards in his rookie card are still going to elude me for quite some time. But this is the 59 Topps Hank Aaron. Again, another PSA 4. Nothing wrong with that in my book when you have centering like that. The overall card has a great image to it, great registration, love the colors. And of course, with the 59s, you get the Christmas color on the back. Really like that. So the 59 Aaron is card number 41. Now, card number 42. This was sort of on my wish list. Like, hey, I'd be wonderful if I could pull this off. I'm not sure if I could. I had in my mind that the only way I'd probably be able to get this card would be in a PSA 1, maybe a 1.5. And even then, I'd have to have one that had pretty good eye appeal to me. I just didn't want any card. And so I knew it was probably going to be very difficult. But then I ran into this copy, got a really good deal on it, was a little bit more than what I wanted to spend, but I was still able to work it out with my overall national budget, and so glad that I did pick it up. My grail card, I guess, for the national, card number 42, is the 54 Bowman Ted Williams. And I picked this up in a 2.5. Obviously, there are some issues with the card. It's a 2.5, but it's mainly corner edge wear. There's a little bit of area down near his chin, but just to me has great overall eye appeal. I have always wanted this Ted Williams card in my collection, and I finally have it. I'm just so excited that I was able to pick this up at the National. Here is the back. The back's really nice as well. Just over the moon that I have this now in my collection, and was able to get it in a higher grade than I thought. So yeah, definitely the best purchase for me at the National. The 54 Bowman Ted Williams, card number 42. Now, card number 43 was sort of my backup plan. All right, if I couldn't find a 54 Bowman Ted Williams in the grade or price or eye appeal that I was looking for, I thought maybe I could get this other card. Never did I imagine that I'd be able to pick up both at the National within the budget that I had, plus getting all these other cards. Now, I did, this one I had possibly eyeing at maybe the 2 or 2.5 for the same price. I did have to drop down in the grade, but overall, I'm very happy with the eye appeal. There are some, obviously, issues with the card, but card number 43 is the sister to the 54 Bowman Ted Williams. It's the 54 Bowman Mickey Mantle. Got it in a PSA 1. Obviously, you can tell and you can see here there are some creases. One of them technically goes through his face there a little bit, but honestly, when you're just looking at it like that, the creases there, they're very light and on the surface for the most part. It doesn't really break. Over there, it breaks the cardboard there a little bit, so you see the white. But other than that, when you're looking at it from a foot away, 2 feet away, it looks like a great example. Love the centering on it. Yes, there's some issues, but it's one that I saw in the display case, kept looking around, see if I can find something else, and I kept coming back to this copy. And so I knew it had to be mine. And again, another shout out and thanks to Mike Baseball Collector for saving me a little bit more money on this card than I was originally negotiating with the dealer. So thanks, Mike. And here is the back. You can tell some of those creases a little bit better there on the back. They are like surface creases, but they go from front to back. But still, for this 54 Bowman Mickey Mantle, very, very happy with the PSA 1 just because the overall eye appeal. All right, so the 54 Bowman Mickey Mantle was card number 43. So 2 more. Card number 44, one that, again, I've since I started building my vintage collection, I've always loved this card, wanted it in my collection, just never happened, but was able to find one at the National and get a decent deal. I found multiple copies of this card in the grade that I wanted, but they were just asking too much or more than I wanted to spend. Couldn't really come to a deal, except when I found this copy. And it's the 1953 Bowman Color Warren Spahn. Just love that image. Just such bright colors. Love the Indian there on the Indian logo on his sleeve. I saw another copy in a PSA 4 and had some little surface wear on the bill of his cap there, but this one here is just nice and solid color. It is a little off center, but for me, it all comes down to when I first look at the card, what's the first thing I notice? And with this card here, the first thing I notice is Spahn's face, and then I go down to the Indian logo there, patch on his sleeve. I don't notice the borders. So the fact that this is a little bit off left to right, which goes against me wanting to find a very well-centered card for my collection, was very happy with this one here in a PSA 4. And again, I got this one for a price I was more comfortable with. Here is the back. Really nice back as well. Just love this 53 Bowman Color Warren Spahn, card number 44 on my list. All right, on to the final card for this progress video, card number 45. And just like the 61 Marichal, it's a card that was on my list, but one that I really wasn't eyeing or looking to pick up, because the grade that I had it on my list was such that it was going to be a higher, a more expensive card, and one that I didn't think I'd be able to fit into my budget, especially wanting to go after the Williams. But I found this one and couldn't believe the price that they wanted, and I even got a lower price than what they were asking for, and was able to again manage my national budget to fit this in. It's the 1948 Bowman Warren Spahn rookie card in a PSA 3. I think on my 100 card list, I was looking initially at a PSA 5, and I think they were running close to like $500 or so. So that's why I really didn't think, I'm not going to go after a Spahn rookie. But when I saw this, and for the price, for this PSA 3, the centering got me. It's not perfect, but it's really nice. Again, corner wear. There are no creases that I can tell on the main part of the card. Just a great example of that 48 Bowman rookie card of Warren Spahn. So there you have it. That is card number 45 on my list of 100 cards for $100,000. As I usually do with my progress videos, I let you know what my original sort of budget or estimated cost would be to get, in this case, these 45 cards off the list, and what I actually spent for those 45 cards. So originally, when I put my list together, the 45 cards that I've got to date would have cost me $10,600. Now, of course, through my journey here, in some cases, like the Spahn, like the 54 Bowman Mickey Mantle, I've dropped down some grades, maybe a grade or two or half a grade here, in order to stretch my hobby dollars. So I'm still picking up the cards, maybe not in the exact grade that I originally put on my list, but so far these 45 cards have cost me $7,915. So I am $2,685 to the good of what I thought I would have to spend to acquire these 45 cards. And a lot of that savings was from the National. So I did really good there. Again, maybe having to drop down a little bit in the grades, but still getting some really nice eye appeal cards. So I would love to know in the comments which of these 9 recent additions on my 100 cards for $100,000 are your favorite or favorites. And again, here is the video that you can check out if you're unfamiliar with the series and want to know which 100 cards make up my list. With that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.